Hi, welcome to week 2. In this week, we're going to be going over a couple nodes, such as the tracker node. And with the tracker node, we'll be able to track features on any footage. And from there, we could use the transform data to either match move or stabilize a footage. From there, we will be looking at the camera tracker node, which is a powerful node that allows us to solve for a 3D camera in Nuke, and from there we could use the 3D camera to project elements using that camera, or we could generate point clouds off of the camera solve, which will allow us control to output axis nodes off of it. From there, we will move on to the motion blur 2D, which allows us to take 2D transform data from a tracker and apply vector blur and motion blur to an image based on the 2D transforms. And from there, we will move on to motion blur 3D, which, similar to the motion blur 2D node, it allows us to take camera data translations and apply motion blur based on that camera data. From there, we will go into the use of the vector blur node, which works with the motion blur 3D and motion blur 2D, along with 3D rendered velocity data that we could use to apply motion blur to our 3D renders, which is great efficient use of render time on the 3D side and allows us to do post motion blur in comp and control how much motion blur we output. From there, we will finish things off by using the Reconcile 3D node, which allows us to take XYZ coordinates and transform and translate those to 2D coordinates in X and Y, which allows us great control over using the 2D coordinates to apply volume rays and lens flares and anything that pretty much uses 2D coordinates. We could actually even use the 2D coordinates that we get from the Reconcile 3D to help our trackers out, or even apply to a tracker for match move and stabilization. So that is just the broad overview of the nodes we will be covering this week. I hope you find them informative and you get good use out of them in the coming weeks. Look forward to going over these with you guys in week 2. Thank you so much.